No one explains William's experience better than himself, but you may be interested to learn some of the details that surrounded the horrific incident that completely changed his life. In April last year, William was working at a Gentex factory in Ntinda, Kampala. He was a machine operator at the factory at the time of the accident. On the day of William's accident, he had reported for his daily duties. He found out that the chemical suit was in such a poor condition and it would have been unusable anyway. In due course of his work, there was an instantaneous violent reaction that flew into his face just 18 inches away. The reaction was so extreme, it hit his left eye, throwing him to the ground. His life was saved by colleagues who bundled him to a nearby emergency shower.
My workmate was hammering scrap just next to me and eventually a metal plucked off, hitting my eye. I ran and informed my boss about what had happened and asked to be taken to the hospital, but they did not take any action.
William, who was fired since he could not work anymore, stayed awake all night due to severe pain.
Blood and tears were dropping out of my eye, but my boss insisted that I should go back to work, which I also resisted because I was feeling much pain. There was no medication in the company laboratory. This happened in the morning, but unfortunately I received treatment in the evening.
So when someone gets a penetrating injury, this person has to come to hospital. If they delay, they get infection in the eyes. And that infection in the eye usually is difficult to control because inside the eye is a good culture medium for bacteria. So it is good when you get injury, don't put traditional eye medicines, don't put any medications, just cover it and come to the hospital.
The last person William would see was his friend who helped him during the difficult times. Many of his colleagues were severely traumatized by what they had witnessed and needed counseling. William was severely burned, and eventually during treatment, it was confirmed that his left eye had lost sight completely.
A week after the incident, my mother took me to Malago Hospital. When the doctors diagnosed me, it was discovered that the eye had rotten, revealing that I delayed to go for thorough checkup and the eye had to be removed.
If you delay too much, we may tell you that you may have to remove the eye. Sometimes because we fear that the infection may go to the brain, because there is a connection between the back of the eye and the brain through the meninges, this infection can go to the brain. At times we advise you that we remove the eye to save life, and also after that we can put an artificial eye.
His wife notes that since the accident, her husband has lost his confidence and life will never be the same again.
We are in a sorry situation because I am the father as well as the mother to the family. I do carry out farming to get what to feed the family. I have a big challenge. Our children fall sick, yet I do not have enough money to treat them.
According to the Workers' Compensation Act, Cap 225, employees who sustain an eye injury at work have a right to workers' compensation cover, which among others includes payment of medical and therapy bills.
How does workers' compensation insurance work? It works in a way that you get compensated as an employee in case you're injured from work to home, from home to work, and during work.
One can also receive workers' compensation benefit through completing a first report of injury form, and one has to fill in the date, time, and nature of the cause of their eye injury. If the injury requires further treatment, it's advisable to contact the workers' compensation representative and ask to see a physician who is employed by the insurance company specifically to treat injured workers.
It's up to the doctor to convince the employer that actually the second eye is as a result of the first one which was affected. Because we are going through some kind of battle where the employer to accept that okay, the second eye is as a result of the first accident. And of course even the employer say no, the second eye is because of the first accident that I got. So now the one of course to kind of give a fair judgment now is the doctor.
There are possibilities that when you get severe damage to one eye, you can get damage to the other eye with time, and this is called sympathetic ophthalmitis. It can even happen 5 years after the initial injury.
William Kaizi has now resorted to farming to continue taking care of his family needs. Efforts to speak to the general manager of Gentex Enterprises Limited, H.V. Gosia, went futile as he refused to comment on the matter. Globally, more than 314 million people are visually impaired. 45 million are blind. Over 90% of the world's visually impaired people live in developing countries. Report by Simon Semazi for Urban TV.